Welcome to Weeping Willow Homestead. Today I have the first garden tour of the year because everything is finally planted, so we can do this. I did these throughout the year last year, so if you want to go and watch those and learn a little bit more, that's fine with me, or see how things compare this year to compared to last year. I try to rotate where I plant everything every year so that we're not like, you're not supposed to plant things in the same place 2 years in a row. I did have 2 things that I did this year because just out of sheer laziness. So we have 2 separate garden areas. This is our smaller garden, what we call our kitchen garden, because it is, I don't know, like 50 yards, not even that far out the back door of our house, and so it's close to our house. And generally the idea is that you're supposed to plant things in the kitchen garden that you are going to use right off the bat in the kitchen, eat fresh, not can. That did not happen this year. It never seems to work out that way. Because this year we had a neighbor and friend of ours give us a bunch of potatoes, like seed potatoes. So they needed to go in the ground, and this garden was ready. The other one was not. So that's kind of how it started. And then it just progressed from there. So this is our smaller garden. I think it is like 20 feet by 10 feet. Somewhere around in there. I don't know. I need to measure this one. I keep saying I need to measure it and then I never do. Just so I have square footage idea wise. So these are all potatoes. Like I said, we had a friend of ours give us seed potatoes. They are a mix of white, yellow, and purple potatoes. I wish I had saved one or shown you a picture of one. Or maybe I can Google a picture of one and show you here, but they are really actually purple potatoes. Like you cut them open, the inside is purple. So we were excited to try that. Potatoes is usually not something that I bother with growing a whole lot of because potatoes are so inexpensive to purchase. I usually focus on the things that are a little bit more expensive to purchase, but they are so much fun to grow. And like I said, we got these for free, so we just went ahead and went with it. So these are potatoes, and then in between these rows, this is a patch of carrots, and they are the rainbow carrots, so lots of different colors. And then this is radishes, and we're going to see how well those do. It is getting hot pretty quick. And usually that means that the radishes get spicy and then they bolt, which means they just want to go to seed. So I don't know whether we're going to get anything off of those or not. It was just a, hey, let's try this and see what happens. So this whole area, I have tried numerous times to get broccoli and cauliflower to grow from seed, and I just do not have good luck. They end up not producing decent heads, especially the broccoli. I've never been able to get broccoli to produce decent heads. So this year there was a local greenhouse to us that was selling broccoli plants for relatively inexpensive, like around $1 a plant. And so I thought, well, let's go ahead and try that. And then they also had their cabbages as well. So first we have, these are 2 cauliflower plants that our neighbor had extra of and gave to us. So we're going to try those and see what happens. I've never grown cauliflower before, and I don't really know anything about growing cauliflower. I need to do some research on it and find out exactly what this looks like. Let's see here. The first 3 rows here are one variety of broccoli. Then there's 4 rows of cabbage, and then 3 more rows of a different variety of broccoli. I wanted to try the 2 varieties, and that way, if this works and they do well, we eat a lot of broccoli, and so if it works and does well, then I am willing to do this and buy plants because it's still cheaper than buying even from Aldi if this works. If we get a decent crown of broccoli off of each one of these, because they will produce like a big crown, and then from there they will produce smaller crowns as long as it doesn't get too hot. And unfortunately it is being a little spicy right now. It's supposed to cool off this week. We're in the Midwest, so when the weather can be really finicky here. So we're gonna play this by ear and see how it goes. When these are done I should have time to potentially plant something else at this end of the garden. We'll see how that goes. Whether I just do some more cold crops, because I could plant another round of like broccoli this fall. We'll see. I don't know. Like I said, we're playing this by ear. Over here, this area here that doesn't have anything planted in it yet, there is something right there where that stick is a zucchini plant, and that's where I'm going to plant my zucchini plants. I succession plant those, so I will plant one, and then 2 weeks I'll plant another one, 2 weeks I'll plant another one, 2 weeks I'll plant another one. And the reasoning behind that is because we get squash beetles horribly bad. I am going to try my darndest to fight them this year, but we tend to get them really, really bad. And so if I do this, then we aren't inundated with zucchini all at once. And they kind of tend to, by the time this one is producing, they will have started attacking it, and they'll leave the next one alone for a while. So that's kind of my hope, is that will work out like that. And then this right here is, we have a sweet friend of ours, an older gentleman that lives in the town near us, and he went to a kind of funky greenhouse that's in a major town about an hour and 15 minutes away, and bought me a peanut plant. So I have never grown peanuts before. I have an uncle that has grown them and has good luck with them. So we're going to try it and see what happens. My uncle lives a little further south than us, so has maybe slightly better weather for it. But yeah, I'm kind of anxious to see how it goes. So, all right, that is everything that's planted in the small garden. I'm going to pause this and I will walk over and show you the big garden. All right, I'll give you a quick look at our chicken pasture. We do raise our chicken pasture raised, which just means they are on this grass all summer long. We are down to, we have 3 guineas, a goose, sorry, guinea fowl. There's one right there, and there's one squawking over here. I'll get a better look at it. And then we have about 25 hens and 1 rooster. And yes, I say about because I don't know exactly how many at an even time. We're not, I don't stop and count them on a regular basis. Sorry. So during the winter, we put our chickens on our garden, on the large garden over here, and they work it all winter long. They till it, they eat everything that's left in the garden. They, there's our rooster, that white guy right there. They eat all the bugs, they fertilize, and they live quite happily on that. And then during the summer, we move them onto this, and they live on it. They get to pick bugs and eat weeds and grass, and obviously we also feed them. They get all of our kitchen scraps, that kind of thing. So that's goose's water and chicken's water. The thing on the top of it is to keep the goose out of it because he likes to bathe in it. He's a waterfowl, so he likes to bathe in it. So that's to keep him out. The 2 things that are blue tops are shelter. You can see the chickens are underneath one of them right there. That is so that they have shelter from rain, and then also places to duck under when hawks and stuff like over. This is what we call our hen. It wants to focus on me. That small coop there is what we call our henitentry, and it is for the naughty birds who don't want to stay in this fence. The fence is electrified, but they can flap over it, and so we have, right now there are 4 hens in there that are our naughty ones that don't want to stay in the coop. And then this one is our regular coop, and it is the Justin Rhodes chick shawl. And yeah, it works great. We absolutely love it. I have no complaints about it whatsoever. So here, if I can get a picture or get a better view of, that's a guinea fowl. They are really, really good at getting rid of ticks in your yard. So we do like to free range them when the garden isn't planted. So in the early spring and in the late fall, we will free range them, and they help reduce our tick population. They are loud and obnoxious. My husband hates them, but from inside the house we can't hear them, so it's fine. So that's kind of proximity of where the garden is to the chickens. So this end of the garden, it's hard to see it right now. It is weedy. These sticks show you, and you can kind of see the lines. These are 4 rows of green beans. I planted all jade beans, which are my favorite. And until they come up, we got a really good heavy rain last night. So that should get them to come up. We planted them 4 or 5 days ago. So that heavy rain should get them to sprout now, and as soon as they start sprouting and I can definitively see where the rows are, I will get out here with my stirrup hoe and get this all hoed, and then later on we'll come out and put grass on it. So that is enough green beans for me to can usually around 70 quarts of green beans. This year I am hoping to have enough freezer space. We have 2 small deep freezers. But I'm hoping to have enough freezer space to can like half of it and freeze half of it, because I like frozen green beans over canned green beans, but storage space, the canned works better. Back there we have a small patch of asparagus, which is done for the year, and the strawberries are producing now. And then these are 2 old growth apple trees, and they produce decent. The apples just aren't very good. They're very, 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 very tart apples, and they're just kind of ugly apples. I could do some things to amend them some, but it's just kind of at this point no point in doing that. Also, this fence, there are, I don't know why it keeps wanting to focus on me. There are wild blackberry bushes there, and then down here are tame raspberries that we have planted. We actually transplanted them from somewhere else. A friend of mine had given me plants, and then as they have sprouted out, I have transplanted them over here so that we have more. And then that tree in the corner is a mulberry tree, which is an edible fruit. They're a pain in the butt to pick because the tree is tall, but my kids will come out and pick enough for us to just eat on. I very rarely do anything by way of preserving because they're just so hard to pick. But yeah, and they don't like them that much. All right, these are tomatoes, and this is where the tomatoes were last year. I have 12 tomatoes. I always overplant. 6 of them are cherry tomatoes, and then 6 of them are slicing tomatoes. And I could tell you the varieties if you want to know. I do have them tagged. I hope those did not wash off. Ooh, that's really close to washing off. I'm going to have to come back out here and rewrite those because that's really almost gone. I was trying something different with the tags to yeah, do it, but so they were started from seed. Most of them were purchased from M.I. Gardner, which is a favorite seed company because they are kind of in the Midwest, but they sell to anywhere and everywhere. But they are inexpensive, and it's a small town, small family run company, and I like that. So these fences did not get moved again this year either. I'm taking the risk. And so right now we have snow peas planted on them. And then over here, I also went through, and anywhere where there was a space enough, I planted cucumbers. So we're going to let them duke it out and see who wins. And we'll go from there on. The snow peas should start producing anytime now. And then the cucumbers, as soon as the snow peas are done, I will do cucumbers on the second fence as well. And that gives me these cucumbers. The cucumbers on this fence will start producing first, and then I'll do these as a secondary, and that way we kind of spread the love just a little bit. All right, hang on just a second. All right, this is 2 rows of pepper plants, and they are hit and miss on how well they're doing. There are some bell peppers and some snack peppers, and then in between those, you can see like they do great, they do great. Then there's like this blank spot. There are some banana peppers that just weren't doing as well from seed. I'm not sure why. They got started a little bit later, but not that much later. So we'll see how those do. My kids love snacking on the little snack size peppers. They love having those with like lunches. And then the bell peppers we will use for like fajitas, grilling on the grill, that kind of thing. And then I did have some basil that survived, not a whole lot. There's 2 there, 1 there, and 1 there. And yeah, I don't know whether I will probably end up going ahead and moving these a little closer and maybe planting something in this area. I might even just do, I probably ought to do some dill because I really want to can dill pickles this year. So I might get that started. That's a good idea. And if I'm going to do that, I need to get it done soon. So yeah, maybe that. If not, I might put some flowers there. Then this, here we go. Let me step out of the fence again. This row and this row, that is sunflowers, and they are like just a mix. I go to like the Dollar General or Dollar Tree at the end of the year, and they will have all of their seeds on sale, and I will purchase like several packets of different kinds of sunflowers and flowers in general. This row is all zinnias, and it is where I have just saved seed from growing zinnias before. And then this section, it's hard to kind of see what's out here because nothing's come up yet, well, besides a weed. There are hills here. There are 6 hills of spaghetti squash. Then we have watermelon, cantaloupe, kajari, I believe is how it's pronounced. It's another kind of melon, I think, from India. We've got mini pumpkins. We've got a buttercup squash, which is supposed to be like a butternut squash. I'm trying to think what else is out here. And then I have 2 hills, right? 2? Yeah. No, 4. No, 2. Yeah, here and here. That are something called a blue Hubbard squash. And they are supposed to be what's called a trap crop, which means, like I said before, we get really bad squash beetles. And the idea behind the trap crop is that the blue Hubbard squash, like, really, the squash beetles really like them. So the idea is to plant them, and then they will attack those plants and leave the other ones alone. We're gonna find out. I also fully intend on using, there's a product called BT, which is a bacterium, some kind, that you can spray on the plants, and you can even inject it into the stems of the plants. That is supposed to kill the squash beetles or deter them. You can put diatomaceous earth down. I did a really good job last year of keeping them at bay, and then partway through the summer we got a really nasty cold, possibly COVID, and we were like out of commission for like 2 weeks where I didn't touch the garden, and they took over in that short period of time. They were just like madhouse. So yeah, we'll see. That's my goal this year, is to beat those guys and to not give them the garden this year. So that is the garden. That's everything. I don't think I have anything else that I intend on planting, except for, like I said, that maybe that dill in that area. Or I'll plant some more flowers there because you can't have too many flowers. I fully intended on having some flowers over in the other garden and just didn't get any done. But, you know, win some, you lose some. So I always run out of garden space. It never matters. Like, I didn't do any sweet corn this year. I didn't do any, we've done popping corn in the past, those kind of things. But we have a farm that's fairly local to us that sells sweet corn for pretty inexpensive, so we just go there and buy when we want it, because I don't usually put it up, like freeze any. I definitely don't can it. And then we still have plenty of popcorn from the year that we did it. So, but yeah, I always end up running out of room anyway. But my goal is always to plant enough for us and have enough extra for donating to the food pantry, whatever extra we have, giving to people at church, that kind of thing. I have several extra tomato plants to take to church tomorrow. So that is everything, though. We have been praying over our garden in hopes that it produces well. There's a car driving by and I feel awkward because I'm out here filming. But yeah, we have been praying over our garden and asking God to make it fruitful so that we can bless ourselves and bless others. I need to weed those. It's already a struggle. We did get this patch of grass put, and then the other garden is completely covered. We will have to come back and fill in, like there's some areas where it got too thin. So we'll fill in as we go, but the intention will be this is the next section that will get covered, because weeding around vining plants is a pain. I would rather get this really well covered and then hoe this for the rest of the year. Like I don't have any issue with that. But doing it around vining plants is next to impossible. So that's everything. Are you growing a garden this year? If you are, tell me what you're growing. Is there something new that you're growing, like growing a peanut plant? Have you ever grown peanuts before? If you have any tips on peanuts or cauliflower are the two that we're doing new this year. If you have any tips on those. My mom said not to bother with cauliflower because it's a pain, but it was free plants. So I figured, hey, they're not really taking up that much room. If they don't work out, then they don't work out. So, all right, that is everything. I am going to go get back to cleaning my house. I appreciate you watching this. Yay for the fact that the garden is planted and ready to go for the year. That's always a huge accomplishment in my book. So, all right. Thank you so much for watching this. I hope you have a great day. Goodbye and God bless.